So I spent around $85 on 3 sets of Tombow markers and a sketchbook.
Say what?
And now I want to know if it was worth it to use up almost an entire gift card on these. So let's find out, I guess. But first, let's talk about the sketching and the spread that I made to test all of these materials. So I basically decided to do a little holiday spread, and I basically went with a big like happy holidays in the middle, and then I did some character drawings around the sides. To be honest, I'm not in love with the composition. It's definitely something I need to practice, but for the first time using the markers and the sketchbook, I think it turned out pretty good. But if you ever get multiple art supplies, my suggestion would be to not use them all at the same time, because it was unnecessarily stressful. Anyway, let's talk about the marker sets. So the first set was the Pastel set, which comes with 10 colors and was $17-ish. The Cottage set was around $16 and also had 10 colors. And the secondary color set also had 10 colors and was around $18. Actually, looking at it now, I think everything was more expensive when I bought it, which definitely makes me feel like I paid a fair price. Moving on from that disappointment, in case you're curious, there were only 3 colors that were repeated, and they were all between the secondary set and the Cottage set. And now we're on to the coloring, which is the real test of how all of these materials were going to perform. Now, I only picked 3 colors because I was still worried about the paper pilling and things playing nicely with each other, but that is actually one of the things that I really liked about the Tombow markers. It was the range of colors and the type of colors they have. I feel like a lot of the colors are really up my alley, and they have like really nice pastel colors and like more desaturated colors that are not as easy to find in other marker brands. And believe me, I have tried to find alternatives where the colors are just as good, but they're just like less expensive, and like these did turn out to be my favorites in terms of colors, unfortunately. Another thing that I really liked about these markers was the dual nibs, because they have a brush tip and then a nib on the other side. And usually markers tend to have a brush tip and a chisel tip, but I much prefer to have a nib that I can write with, and these do, so that is very, very nice. And the last thing that I really like about these is the fact that they're basically water markers. Yeah, they're kind of expensive for just being water markers, but I don't know, I like the fact that they're water markers because it makes it so that they don't bleed through the paper, and it just makes me want to color more because it's like, oh, I can use these for a quick sketch, and it's like easy, they have nice colors, and I don't know, it's just like motivating me to use more colors, which is what I want. Am I just trying to rationalize spending that much money on markers?
Yes, I am.
Maybe. I mean, whenever I get a gift card, I feel like I should be using it on something at least a little more useful, like a coat or shoes. But I figured, like, if it's a gift card and it's like during Christmas, shouldn't I use it for something fun that I like? I don't know. I just know that I usually feel kind of guilty for spending a lot of money on art supplies, which is something that I just love to do, but is not necessarily a great idea. So I'm trying to really focus on the positives and like all the good things, but I am gonna talk about the negatives anyway. But first, a little bit about the sketchbook. I actually really like it. It held up well to the Tombows and even a little bit of watercolor, which is really all I'm asking for, so yeah. But now I'm going to become a negative Nancy, and as I am inking with this ballpoint pen, I'm going to tell you all the negatives about everything. Starting with the least egregious thing is the size of the Tombows. They're actually pretty big. They're bigger than normal markers and pencils, so they don't fit into most pencil cases, and it's kind of a unique problem, and I've had to just fit them into like makeup bags. It's not a huge deal, but it is kind of annoying that you cannot just throw them into a pencil case with all your other art supplies because they will not fit. So yeah, that's kind of a little one, but it is good to note, you know, if you're going to be spending that much money on markers. The second problem is a little bit more specific because I bought 3 different sets, and between the Cottage set and the secondary color set, 3 of the markers were repeated, so that is definitely not ideal. I don't know, I just feel like companies should take that into consideration when they're making sets. Like, people are probably gonna buy more than one set, so don't put repeated colors. Like, the secondary set needs to have a purple too, but does it need to be the exact same purple you put in the Cottage core set? I don't know, you know? But, you know, I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm gonna move on to the last con, which is, of course, the price. Like, I just went onto the Tombow website, and not for a set, but just for like one marker, it is $3.80. That's crazy. I mean, I know earlier I said that these are like great casual markers, good for adding some colors in or whatever, but clearly these are not casual markers. Not at this price, you know? Not to knock on them, they really are great quality, they feel really nice to use, but that doesn't negate the price. Am I also a little annoyed that they were more expensive when I bought them than they are now? Maybe, but my point still stands. So, would I buy these things again? I think I have to point out the fact that I only bought these things in the first place because I got a gift card. I would not have spent my own money on this. But if I got another gift card, would I do it? I guess is the question. And for the sketchbook, I would say yes. It was only like $10, and even though the paper's not perfect and it's a little thinner than I would like, it's taken a couple of water washes pretty well. It's taken Tombows, and I'm excited to use it overall. For the Tombows, I think I have to look at it more specifically. The Pastel set, I think, is really something that like I like, so I probably would get it again. I really like the colors. And the Cottage core set, or the Cottage set, is also really nice, but I probably wouldn't get the secondary color set. That being said though, I think you have to consider whether you think they're worth it for you, because at the end of the day, you know, I might think the markers are worth it, but you might not. So yeah, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you later.